bring yourself down, start in Shavasana. So you'll need your bricks nearby and maybe a cushion for your head if you want. So this is a yin type practice. So I've called it Yinnish. I don't know if that's a word, but I've just decided it is. So it's a slow yin type practice because it's been so hot here, and it still is hot this morning. So we won't be moving off our backs. We will be finding stillness in a few different positions. It's not yin full on, because yin full on is a kind of heat building practice. Although we do it in cool muscles and joints, etc., because we want to work deeper, there's an element of working toward edges, etc., that does warm you up. And the purpose here isn't to get ourselves hotter. It's to kind of release a little bit of the steam that we've built up over the last few days here. So now that you're in Shavasana, just first of all notice any hot spots that you can find. Have a quick body scan yourself and find where you might find heat particularly. I hold a lot of my heat in my stomach, I know that. I hold a lot of my heat in my palms and my hands. You might find the back of your neck as well. I can't bear having my hair down at the moment because it's so hot. So just have a quick scan around and see if you can spot those points of your body where you do hold heat. Becoming aware of these things helps us to cool ourselves down. Things like, well, there are ways of doing it, putting cold water on your wrists, etc. But just learning where you hold your heat, not wearing socks, for instance, if your feet are very hot. Putting your hair up if it's your neck, that sort of thing. So just think on that for a second more. See where you can find the heat. It's often in jointed areas, so maybe your elbow joints or behind your knees or the front of your hip flexors, that sort of area where we close up quite a lot. So obviously opening is a cooling practice. So begin now to use your breath as well. So begin to control your breath. And just as you do, notice the heat as you take the breath in through your nostrils. Notice the heat difference between the inhale and exhaling through your nostrils. It might not be a huge difference. It might be quite obvious. It depends what room you're in, the heat of the air that you're bringing in through your nostrils. But normally you're taking in cooler air and releasing hotter air as you exhale. So just think of that as you inhale for 4 and exhale for 4, 2 or 3 times here. And I'm going to bob up and down as I do this because I've got a few readings to do to you while you're here. So this little reading while you're just breathing for a few more, in for 4, exhaling for 4, nice and slowly, taking it a little bit deeper, but nothing too forceful. Make it cool, make it nice and calm. This one's called Take a Breath. What makes music beautiful? The distance between one note and another. What makes speech eloquent? Is the appropriate pause between words. From time to time, we should take a breath and notice the silence between the sounds. So now inhale for 4, exhale for 4, but just see if you can pause very slightly between the inhale and the exhale and the exhale and the inhale. It doesn't need to be to a count of 2 or anything too strenuous. Just notice that little pause before you transition to the opposite part of your breath. And then take an inhale for 4 and exhale for 6. And as you do that, breathe it out, sigh out through your mouth this time. inhale for 4, exhale for 6. Do 2 or 3 of those. And just release the hotness of the breath through your mouth. And then after you let go of the next exhale, bring your feet up into flat to the floor, so you're coming in to do windscreen wipers. So place your feet where you're comfortable. They can be as wide or as narrow as you want. I wouldn't put them together, either hip distance or a little bit wider width of the mat. Can be as far away or as near your body as you want. So you decide how closely you close up your hip flexors there. And take your arms in and pop them into goalpost arms if you're comfortable, or in some sort of opening of your arms so that you've got your palms facing upwards to the ceiling and you've got an openness under your armpit area. So they don't need to be goalposts exactly, just in some form that you've got that open feeling across the top of your chest. And then when you're ready, just begin very small windscreen wipers right and left. Just very gently rocking through your hips. Don't go too far. Just slowly let it build. Wafting away some of the heat as well, hopefully. So rolling through your feet onto the edges now. Maybe you're going a little bit further. The aim here is we're going to slowly drop over to the right and rest there. So if you feel you need it, grab a brick if it's near your hand, and pop it over ready to pop your leg onto if you feel that you're going to be floating too high. So on your next breath, gently exhale and release your legs over to the right and let them sit there or dangle as the case might be. But if you've got your brick, you can put it under your lower leg, your right leg, just to hold them there. Your other leg will still feel a bit hangy, but it's okay. It's got your foot to support it and the hips supporting it. So it's the lower leg we're really supporting here if you need it. If you can hit the floor, then that's fine. But keep your shoulders flat on the floor and keep that openness across your chest. And then just slowly begin to roll your head from side to side. So just gently rolling back and forwards, very small movements to start. And the aim here in a second is that we're going to turn the head towards the left. So when you feel you're ready to do that, just roll the head gently to look towards your left hand or just over towards the left side. It doesn't need to be right over, don't force anything. Just a gentle opening on your right hand side of your throat there and down into that side of where your collarbones are already opening. And then just find your breath again and breathe. No straining, no pushing, no edges here. We're really just letting ourselves be open to this pose and using our breath just to soften ourselves into it. We'll take 2 or 3 more breaths and then we'll gently move our head up to center, move our knees up using our inhale and our tummy muscles to bring them up. Taking the brick and popping it to the other side of us, ready to take the left side this time. Same thing, feet in the same position, I wouldn't move them. Arms in the same position, and then just start your windscreen wipers again. You might feel you're a little bit more fluid around your hip area now. So if you're comfortable, when you're ready, take yourself over to the left-hand side, support your legs if you need that lower leg supported. Try to keep both shoulders on the floor. Legs can move a bit if they're not comfortable. Shuffle them around a little bit. Open up a little bit more if you need to. And then start your head rolls to one side, then the other, with the aim that your head is this time going to gently move over to the right-hand side. So when you're ready, allow the head just to fall, right ear towards the right shoulder or the floor, and opening up the left-hand side of your neck now and throat. We don't open that area of us very much, and it's holds an awful lot of tension around your neck. It's a big thing to be carrying that head around all the time. So going back just for a second as we stay in this side to our take a breath, and I'll read it one more time for you. What makes music beautiful is the distance between one note and another. What makes speech eloquent is the appropriate pause between words. From time to time, we should take a breath and notice the silence between the sounds. When you're ready, again, head up first into central position and then gently inhale and use your tummy muscles. Draw yourself back up to center. Take your arms and your legs out now into a kind of 5-star feeling. So you're stretching outwards. And then we're snow angeling. So we're going to take our arms down as we draw our legs together. Everything stays on the floor, and then we open up again, arms come back out and legs open. So a few snow angels drawing in towards center, arms come down, legs come together, and then open up again. I'm not going to do that because it's very noisy in this room. So have a few more snow angels, something we do as kids and enjoy. So there's a bit of fun element comes to that one, hopefully. Not as we get older, it's maybe a bit harder. And then bring yourself back to center. And then bring your feet into preparation for bridge position. So you've got your heels close to your bottom, feet flat on the floor. Legs are in line with your hips, excuse me. We have that little pelvic tilt feeling, so have a little play with the pelvic tilt, rolling the back off the floor, hips coming up as your pelvis, not off the floor, but draw your pelvis in towards your belly button. So just play around with that for a second. And then we're going to take 3 very gentle bridge rolls. So when you're ready, on the breath, as you inhale, pushing into the feet, taking the shins towards the wall in front of you, and rolling up and opening up very gently. Don't go too high, don't go too forceful, just lift up gently to your first bridge. And then rolling back down. So inhaling up, exhaling down, taking it as slowly as you can. Tipping up the pelvic tilt first of all as you lift. Begin to lift with the pelvic tilt engaged and lifting up on the inhale. We're taking 2 more. Rolling down, placing the spine very carefully down on the floor. The slower you move this one, you'll move more muscles. If you go too quickly through bridge, up and down, then you'll be using the main muscles. The big muscles will take over. The little muscles won't get so involved and won't get to play their part. So go slowly. Once you take your 3rd one and your back's down on the floor again, sweep your arms up, and if you can, take them above your head. If you can't, just come back into more of a goalpost position with elbows bent, wherever you're comfortable, but have your openness again across the chest and under the armpits, palms facing up the way. Now, if you're comfortable with this, some of you may find this a little bit stronger, but give it a try. If not, you can take your hands back down. But otherwise, 3 bridges with the arms in this position, open above your head if you can. So inhaling, drawing yourself up carefully into bridge. And then releasing on the exhale. Might find it a bit more flowy now. Anyway, your spine should be a little bit warmer. Your feet should feel a little bit more connected. Your tummy muscles will have been switched on so they know what they're doing. Muscle memory will start to come into it. But there's that feeling that the lower half of the body is doing most of this rather, and the upper half is just holding still and being stable. And it'll show you how much you use your arms in this position anyway. So then rolling back down, grab your brick now, roll up once more and come into supported bridge. So rolling up and popping your brick under that flat area of your pelvis. Go as low as you feel comfortable. If you want to take it up to the second side of the brick, then do so. But that is quite opening, so see how you feel. But otherwise, the low side of the brick. Please do never go up to the high side on this. It's just not good for your AI joints there. So just opening up the front of the pelvic area now. So over the hips, flexors, the stomach muscles, you should feel quite a lot of opening there. And the hands can either stay up or come back down to your sides where they're comfortable. You decide where you want to be for this one. Just find the breath again. And in this position, inhale for 4 and exhale for 6 if you can. You can exhale through your mouth or through your nostrils, whichever feels more appropriate for you. If you open your mouth and sigh the breath out, you will lose a lot more of the heat in you. While you're doing that, then just have a little quick body scan at the same time. See if you can find where your hot spots are now. If it's the same point, maybe some muscles have warmed up and you can feel heat elsewhere in you. Maybe your glutes have switched on a little bit more during the bridge position, so maybe you can feel heat there. Possibly in the back of your shoulders because you've got a lot of attachment there to the surface below you. Tends to mean you've got no air flowing around it. To see if you can use that exhale for 6 on any particular area that feels really hot. See if you can direct that exhale in that direction and release some heat from it. And those of you that want to, just for the last couple of breaths, you can stretch one leg away and then the other leg away and come into what's called pontoon, apparently, this one now. But it's a bit more like, it's almost like fish, but using a different point of your body and your back. It does really open up the hip flexors then, and it opens up the back of the knees and opens up the front of the ankles. So a lot of heat out of those creased areas is being released here. It's not for everybody, though. It can put a lot of strain on you. So if you feel it's uncomfortable, please bring in one foot at a time anyway. Always move one leg at a time there because your SI joints need to stay stabilized. If you move both legs at once, you will damage your back. Okay, so then bring both feet in again if anybody's in that pontoon position. Press into the feet gently, lift up through the hips, take that block away from underneath you, release the spine slowly using all the little muscles again, down to the floor. And then take your legs away from you and have a little stretch out, whichever way you want to. You might want to rock through your hips there or just have a stretch one side, then the other, release the air. The side body is often like a side vent. If you can let out the air under your armpits and down the side of your body, then it often cools you down quite a bit, interestingly. And we don't think of that side a lot. Okay, so we're coming back into another twist then. So you'll need your block again, and you'll need you need your 2 blocks. So grab them both if you may not need the second one, but the second one is to rest on once you put your legs over to the twisted side. So place one block somewhere around where you think your lower leg will land, and then take the other block, lift one leg at a time up into upside down tabletop position. So a 90-degree angle at your hips and behind your knees, and flex the feet and make a 90-degree there as well. And then pop the brick, the other brick, the second brick, between your thighs or long ways so that you can clench them, the brick then, with your thighs. And then pop your hands out this time, palms down the way to support yourself out to the side so that you feel supported. As you inhale and gently switch on your tummy muscles, so, and then exhale and roll over to your right hand side. Now grab that second brick or place it carefully under your bottom legs. if you can't quite reach over to that side. If you can, but you notice your top shoulder has really come with you, see if turning that backhand palm upwards and then maybe taking it up to shoulder height if you can, drops that back shoulder back down to the floor and opens up under your armpits at the same time. So really quite nice and opening. If you're still finding your shoulders dangling up off the floor, pop something, even if it's just a low cushion, under the lower leg so that your shoulder then can relax into the twist as well. So once you're over, then gently turn your head again towards the backhand so that you're getting an open stretch here on your right hand side of your neck. So you've got your legs over to the right and the right hand side of your neck is open because your head's looking in the other direction. Hopefully that's all clear as mud. And then find your breath again. So another few words, this time written by Mont Blanc Yoga, called Take a Moment and Pause. Take a moment and pause. Let your breath slow as your thoughts try to rush ahead. Still your mind and flush away any residual worries and let calmness wash over you. Take a moment and pause. Sweep away stale energy. Brush out the dust and the debris from hidden corners. Find peace in your stillness. Take a moment and pause, closing doors on past and future, and rest now in the present. Exhale and empty yourself of anything toxic. Breathe in clarity, positivity, goodness. Okay, so we're going to come up and over to the other side here. So carefully engaging tummy muscles. Remember, using your inhale, draw yourself back up, but the brick's still in that position. Just keep it there. If it's really uncomfortable, you don't want to do this, please always take your own choices here. You know you can do that. So taking the other brick over to the side that we're going to roll to, which is your left-hand side, make sure you've got it ready there to support you if you need it. If you can hit the floor and not lose that back shoulder connection, then that's fine. So inhaling when you're ready and taking yourself, if you haven't already, over to the left. Might find it a little bit different this side. Sometimes we're tighter on one side than the other. And then remember what to do with the back shoulder. So first of all, turning the palm upwards, lifting the hand up a little bit and opening up that top of the side body there on the right, and on the right hand side this time, letting the head roll towards that side to open the left hand side of the neck. And if you still find you're dangling here, remember to pop something under your legs and see if you can then rotate just a little bit more onto that back shoulder. And close your eyes if you haven't already. And find your breath again. Watching those little pauses between the inhale and the exhale. So continuing and finishing our take a moment and pause. Going back over that last verse, take a moment and pause, closing the doors on past and future, and rest now in the present. Exhale and empty yourself of anything toxic. Breathe in clarity, positivity, goodness. Take a moment and pause, and allow yourself to soak in the tranquility of being here. Shake off any shadows that linger. Bathe in the lightness of space within and around you. Take a moment and pause. Replace order and balance as the silence runs through you like a warm stream, cleansing your mind, your body, your soul. Okay, so gently coming out of that position, back up to center when you're ready, head first and then your knees, remember. Coming up, getting rid of that brick that's between your thighs, placing the bricks down at the side. I don't know if we need them again, but just in case, keep them close by. And then have a full body stretch when you're ready, and maybe a side body, right and left. Just releasing, opening up a little bit more. We've closed up there slightly in that position. Opening the side vents, taking a breath. And then we're going to come into Happy Baby Modified. So, if you want to put a very low cushion under your head, sometimes this one is quite hard on the back of your head, so you might want that as a comfort thing. So the idea is to make this more comforting than normal. Then we're going to take a right knee into chest and then a left knee into chest. Hip distance apart between the knees, and then you're going to take your hands and either pop them, I think everybody pop them behind your calves, behind your thighs for the moment. So either if you can clasp your hands, it might draw your shoulders up too hard. So try to keep those shoulders relaxed, whatever you do here. So I'm just clasping the back of my knees really on my thighs with one hand on one leg, one on the other, so that I'm not drawing my knees closer together. There's no strain on my shoulders. I'm really just dangling my shoulders off my legs. Okay, and then flex both feet and then draw your calf and shin upwards so that your feet come up to face the ceiling. So you're in a bent knee position here. It's not Viparita Karani, bent knee, but the idea is to try and get the feet up so that your thighs then come down towards the outside of either side of your body. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Those of you that are a little bit longer in the arm, perhaps, or maybe a bit more flexible this morning, can reach up and just take the sides of the outside of your feet, but don't worry about crossing the elbows inside the calves or anything. Just let your arms then dangle. Take your shoulders back down to the floor as much as you can and use the weight of your upper body to hold your feet in that position and draw your thighs down towards the floor. So you've got a right angle here behind the back of your knee still and on the front of your ankle, and your hip flexors are really closing up and the back of your hips, your glute area, is very much opening. If this is too much of a strain for anybody, try the one behind your thighs first of all. That's much more relaxing. But if you find it's not for you, then take your legs down and just relax into wind pose. So just draw your knees in towards your chest, holding the front of your shins or the back of your legs. Don't need to put the calves up and the feet up to the ceiling. Okay, so we won't be here too long. So just take a few breaths here in that still position. This might be more of an edge than we've hit. Let's see how you're feeling. If you've got your hands on your feet, now bring them down to the back of your thighs, and everybody with their hands there, just slowly start to rock through the back of your body. So from side to side, you're rocking through, and you're just releasing off, particularly the lower back. This is a really nice massage on it. If you go a little bit more from side to side, you'll find the shoulders then can come into it too, and you're kind of rocking over. The whole of the back of the body gets a bit of a massage then. And then maybe your head can go with you as well. Make sure it goes in the same direction this time, not in the opposite direction. So, rocking across the back of your head, the same way that you're going from side to side on your body. Really nice massage through the SI joints that I was talking about. But that means you've got to keep this nice and rhythmic. And notice the release of heat when you roll from one side to the other. The side that lifts, there's a nice cooling sensation in my back anyway. Not everybody feels the same thing, but as the air rushes into that space that was on the floor. And then come to stillness again. Bring the feet down one at a time. And we're coming into Bananasana now. So we're going to make this an easy easy Bananasana if you can. So walking the feet over to the right, but not pushing anything too far. Taking the shoulders over to the right. Hips and waist area stay still and heavy on the floor. Hands can then go into your goalpost arms again if you want. You can go into full, if you want to take the arms up above the head, if you want to catch your wrist, please do so. Don't feel you don't need to go into full pose, but try not to put too much heat and stress into the pose. The legs can stay separate or cross over at the ankles with your left foot on top of your right. And you can catch your left wrist if you want to go into full pose. Otherwise, just let everything soften into this. So you should feel both shoulders are still on the floor. If your legs are both on the floor, then you should feel both hips on the floor. If you've lifted one and crossed at the ankles, you will feel a little bit more of a lift in that hip, obviously. But what we're doing here is closing up the right hand side of the body to open up the left side. So think of finding space there between your ankle on your left side and right up through that side body, those vents, and under your armpit. So open up there in any way you can. Lift your arm, take it out to the side, take it above your head, and then just find your breath again. So I'm going to have to read this, but a little interesting thing. I haven't studied Ayurveda, which is a sister to yoga, but it's the science of life. It's the medical health side of the yogic traditions. So it's a very, very old tradition, Ayurveda. But it classifies people into three main types, or main energy types, and they're called the doshas. You may have heard of them. We're all made up of the elements that the universe is made up of. So earth, water, fire, air, ether. And the 5 seasons, they put in an early summer and they put in a late summer. So there are 5 seasons in Ayurveda. The 3 doshas, they are the biological, the psychological, and the emotional part of us. This is what we're all made up of, and we can be a mixture of them. But the one that I'm pretty sure I am very much made of at the moment is called Pitta, and Pitta is made up of fire and water element, particularly fire. So it is connected with summer and the heat of summer. So the fire element. It tends to fall with people who have a red tint to their skin, so very much a Scottish thing, possibly. Freckles, people who flush easily or get rashes or burn easily in the sun. They don't like a lot of heat. It tires them, they perspire a lot. We all have this element in us, but some of us lean towards it more. But I thought it was quite an interesting thing. That it's also people who are filled with a lot of passion in life. But all these doshas, the 3 doshas, they differently relate to health disorders And Pitta is one that very much affects your skin, your digestion, also insomnia, and illnesses tend to be blood or liver disorders. So all of that's very much to do with heat. And people that I think have got a stronger element of this Pitta in them, it's spelled like pita bread, by the way, tend to feel the heat of summer a little bit more than some other people. Okay, so moving to the other side of us again. Slowly coming out of that side of Vananasana and walking yourself. Have a stretch in between if you need to, and walk over to the other side. So your left side now, you're moving your feet and your shoulders to your hands. Again, take them so that you've got that opening under your armpits somehow or another. And find yourself in comfort. Go a little bit further if you want to. It's very much up to you. You may not have the Pitta side of you that I have, so I'm going for coolness this morning. You might not be feeling this, that everybody else feels hot, and you might be perfectly at ease and cool in the summer. So you may have more of one of the other elements of the doshas, which maybe someday we'll look into a little bit more. So coming to stillness again here and finding your breath. And using your exhale to breathe into that right hand side, that is open now. Imagine there were vents, literal vents of down the side of your body, maybe under your armpits, maybe around that right hip. And use your exhale to breathe the air out through those areas. Think of cool things. Think of running water. Whenever you're overheated, we can use our mindfulness to bring ourselves into a sense of coolness. Just like it can calm our mind, it can also physically calm us. We haven't used our left nostril here much, but of course we know that that's the one to use when you want to cool yourself down. So maybe now psychically, try to breathe in through your left nostril and out through your right. Take 2 or 3 breaths, focusing on that Ida nadi, the cooling side of your nadis, this more shaded side. And that's what we need when we're overheating. So that switches on our parasympathetic nervous system. Our slowing down process begins. We begin to release and relax, and maybe some steam comes off us at the same time. Okay, so then moving back to center when you're ready, we're going to go for a final twist here. We're going to do twisted roots, which isn't quite as open as the twists we've been doing. We close the legs up more. It's got the eagle legs. It's got eagle legs in the twist. Use your bricks again at the side of you here to move over towards. And we'll move the arms about once we get into position. So let's just get over there by lifting up your right knee and crossing your right leg with thighs really nice and tight here. Cross your right leg over your left. Use your hands to just gently lift your bottom off the floor and move it about 2 inches or so over to the right hand side. This just allows you space to move into the twist. Inhale and then exhale using your stomach muscles, moving over to the left in your rotation here, and finding a brick or something, a couple of cushions or something, just to soften that and give you some support there. So again, try not to take the shoulders off for this one. So if you go over to the floor and you find you're dangling, pop something under your legs just to lift you up a bit more. So we're not going full on here. If you want to go for it full on, then please do, but otherwise take this easefully into your twisted roots. So it's quite close. The thighs are very close together here, and the knees are more bent. So the back of the knees are a little bit more closed. So now using the upper body to try and release some heat. Again, find a position for your arms. You might want to take them overhead. You might want to take them out to the sides, turn the palms upwards. Don't need to go fully out at shoulder height. They can be a little bit lower, but try and open up through that, the armpit area again, across the collarbones. And then turn your head to the right, the opposite side to your legs, and let that neck open a little bit more again. And find your breath. So twists actually are very good as well in heat. It might seem counterintuitive, but by overextending parts of you in the twist, you're releasing a lot of heat. And also they work very much on your digestive system. So you're releasing heat that builds up in your stomach, which affects your body. It affects your body through inflammation, etc. It causes a lot of problems if you don't have that movement and flow in your stomach area, in your digestive system. So twists don't necessarily wring you out and move toxic things, but they do, obviously, because we're contracting and opening in that stomach area, they do work on your digestive system. And they're quite a gentle way of moving things through you. We've actually gone to the opposite side there. Often we would do right then left in twists. It's not going to make a huge big difference to us today, but sometimes people follow that discipline because that's the movement of your internal organs, your got the word? your internal organs move in that direction. I'll remember it on the next side of the twist, that word. Okay, so gently then coming up and going over to the other side. So bring yourself up carefully, uncross the legs, move your hips back to center, remember. Take a little stretch or anything you need to do in between any of these, and then crossing the left knee over the right thigh now, squeezing the upper thighs together, moving the hips over a couple of inches to the left this time. Switching on the abdominal muscles, inhaling, using your hands to just gently support you as you roll the legs over to the right this time. Finding your brick if you need it. If your shoulders come off, find that brick. Don't dangle too much if you can help it. And then find the position you want to put your arms into, but open up the palms, spread the fingers, reach out. Turn the head towards the left shoulder, the back shoulder this time is the left, and then find the breath again. And as you scan yourself again, think of where any hot spots come up now. So scanning ourselves and looking at ourselves is very much part of yoga. And I always like to think of this little reading from St. Augustine, which is people travel to wonder at the height of the mountains, at the huge waves of the seas, at the long course of the rivers, at the vast compass of the ocean, at the circular motion of the stars. And yet they pass by themselves without wondering. They pass by themselves without wondering. And that's rather sad. But we don't do that in yoga, because we're self-aware all the time in yoga. So then bring yourself, when you're ready, out of that side twist. We're coming back up to center. We're coming hips back into center, head back up to center. And then bring your knees together now. So bring your feet onto the floor and bring your knees together. So feet are wide like in windscreen wipers, but instead of your legs knees being the same distance apart, take your knees in and lean them against each other. And then take your hands and pop them onto your belly in that sort of diamond shape we take there. And immediately I feel heat between my hands and my belly. I don't know which one's hotter. I can feel the heat between my legs now from thigh to knee as the skin has touched each other there. Heat's not a bad thing. Heat also comes from connection and can be quite comforting. But overheating isn't good for us physically, and it's not good for us mentally either. So taking time in yoga to just de-stress and release any steam that's built up. And if you, like me, struggle with the physical heat, then it also affects you mentally. So just taking that space to find coolness on the floor here. It seems counterintuitive again to go and do something like which people think of as exercise, but yoga isn't exercise, remember. To go and do something where you can just lie down and let things out, let go. Okay, so then taking your knees apart, take your feet together into Supta Baddha Konasana. So let your knees fall out. If you want to pop your blocks under for a couple of minutes, then please, or seconds, please do, but you don't need to. And take your hands back into that goal pose position, so opening up the chest area again. Palms are facing upwards, spreading the fingers, opening up the palms, letting some air come back to your hands again. And finding that breath again. Breathing in for 4. And out through your mouth for 6. And as you breathe out through your mouth, whistle it out now. So make your shape of your mouth as if you were going to whistle, as if you had a straw in your mouth, and breathe out through that little straw-shaped hole. So inhale for 4 and breathe out. It can be 6, it can be 4, whatever feels comfortable for you, but let out any steam that's still in there, let it out. Any heat go. The heat is not quite as bad today, I don't think, here, so that's not necessarily going to be as hot for us all out there, but it builds up. It's a bit like the bricks in the house that gather all the heat and hold it for a long time. You can hold all that heat in your belly particularly, not just from hot weather, but from a hot head. When you've been stressed, when you've been working too hard, when a lot of people have been calling for your attention, a lot of the heat from that builds up in your lower half, in your tummy and in your hips, etc. So releasing that heat does your mind good, but also does your physical health good. So after your next exhale, if you're still exhaling, if you've maybe just gone into a restful mode, then come back up slowly. Take a stretch, have a rock and roll, do anything you need to do just to open the body again. And then we're just coming back up to finish class. So I'm going to finish in Baddha Konasana, which is feet together rather than crossing my legs because it's a little bit cooler. And pop my hands gently together, but my elbows on my knees, nice and restful. Let my body move forward towards my hands. Remember, take a moment and pause and let your breath slow as your thoughts try to rush you ahead. Still your mind and flush away any residual worries, and let calmness wash over you, and coolness, hopefully. Thank you, everybody. Namaste.